Hey, what's up everybody? Lawler here with some more Rocket League news. We've got an update on the Fall Split Major. But before we get into that, as always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, as well as making sure to hit subscribe and turning on notifications, as it does help me out greatly. And if you want to support me directly, easiest way to do so is all the social medias you see on rotation on the bottom left. You can find those in the description down below. Make sure you guys go give those a like and follow as well. But with that said, let's get straight into it. If you guys haven't seen the news, a couple days ago, Psyonix put out a post on their website called an update on the Fall Split Major. And basically what it details is the fact that we are still dealing with the pandemic and COVID-19. We have to make some adjustments to the upcoming major because there is ultimately no good way to make sure that these teams are playing without paying in competition internationally. All the majors are supposed to include all four regions: North America, Europe, South America, and OCE. And unfortunately, that just can't happen right now because of the situation with the pandemic. So how it'll actually work is the Fall Split Majors are going to work the exact same as the current format, but they're going to cut it in half. So they then break down this more in the post, as you can see here, where they state that the top 16 teams in each region will qualify for the Fall Split Major. This is more than what it was in the past. In the past, we assumed it was going to be the top 16 teams from all regions, in the sense of probably 6 from North America, 6 from Europe, 2 from OCE, 2 from SAM, just like the Worlds would be. But it looks like it is going to be the top 16 for every single region individually. So that does provide some extra chances for some other rosters. Each major is going to last 2 days, and day 1 will feature another 16-team Swiss stage, with the top 8 advancing into the playoffs. As usual, then, at day 2 is going to be the 8-team single elimination playoff bracket, with the winner becoming regional champs. Points during this time are going to be doubled. So you can think of this as yet another regional event like we've seen already. We are currently already through one of the 3 regionals for North America. Number 2 for EU is going on right now. You guys can actually watch the top 8 breakdown literally today on Twitch. I'll be streaming at twitch.tv/Lawler if you guys want to come and hang out. After you're done watching this video, I should be live for that final bracket. So with points being doubled, and currently it's going to be an extension of what it feels like with the regionals, it looks like that you can earn up to a total of 702 points. That's an absolute ton, especially considering how difficult it has been to win the entire thing, whether it be in the grid, as you've seen some teams do in repeat occurrence like Space Station, or in regionals. So again, this is a really big deal, and honestly the only optimal solution when it comes to dealing with the pandemic. Also, the interesting thing in this next statement is they talk about how both Europe and North America regional majors will feature a $100,000 prize pool. And since there is, quote, fewer teams qualified, a bigger cut of prizing and points will be up for grabs, end quote. If you're saying that 16 teams is less, I'm curious on how many were actually going to show up into the major and how much representation was coming from each region in general. It'll be interesting to see if COVID clears up and the pandemic clears up before the winter major, and we get to see how many teams this is, because again, a lot of the details about the winter major or the fall major just hadn't been released yet. And I think it's just because they were waiting to see how to handle it as North America tries to figure out what the heck is going on with the whole COVID situation. For OCE and South America, the regionals will also feature a $25,000 prize pool, and both OCE and South America will be featured on the Rocket League main channel for Twitch and YouTube, which I think is awesome for them. I've already seen a couple tweets of people being excited about that, as it is a good way for them to become exposed to the major audiences. Because there isn't just one major now, they talk about this. 10th and 11th of October is going to be for OCE, the 16th and the 23rd is going to be for South America, the 17th and the 24th is going to be for Europe, and then the 18th and the 25th is going to be for North America. I do find it a little bit odd that OCE is back-to-back days, with them being on the 10th and the 11th. But then for South America, it's the 16th and then goes to the following Wednesday. Europe is the 17th, which is a Thursday, and then that goes to the following Thursday. And then North America is Friday to the following Friday, which is a little bit weird that it's being split over 2 weeks except for OCE, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'm not exactly sure if there's some conflict with what is in the schedule, but again, there is some adjustments that have to be made to this as well. If you guys are unaware, the trade window used to be during this time where it was, I think, the 22nd of October until November 1st. The trade window is now being shifted. It is the 26th until November 1st. So what used to be a 2-week period for these guys to figure out rosters, who they want to practice and scrim with, and what's going on, that is being shortened to essentially 6 days as compared to 2 weeks. So if players weren't sure about who they were going to play with or who they're going to move forward with, you're going to have to make a pretty rushed decision on that. So adjustments being made by Psyonix, and they're not trying to really take away from the current structure. But they are making adjustments, in my opinion, the best way that they basically can. Obviously, with COVID and the pandemic, as I've mentioned, there's not a whole lot of options unless they spend a ton of money and do this whole bubble thing. But with international travel and everything else with that and limitations possibly, it could make it pretty difficult. I think we are seeing League of Legends still do that, and I think CSGO is doing that as well. But again, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of last-second planning that they would have to do for it. So we are going to have to follow it up online, and hopefully it clears up before winter as well as spring. So rather than us getting one event with all the international teams coming into play in one area, we are getting 4 events, $100,000 for 2 of them, $25,000, making it $250,000 total, and a bunch of Rocket League to watch over the course of a week. But I'm still a little weirded out by the whole OCE back-to-back day thing on October 10th and October 11th. Not exactly sure why that is. The last regional does wrap up on October 4th, so it is pretty quick turnaround time where within the next week you're going to see OCE, and then a couple days later you get North America, South America, and Europe. So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out, but ultimately, I do think this is kind of the best solution in regards to it. It stinks that we don't get an international major, but with the pandemic and stuff, not a whole lot we can do about it, and Psyonix is doing the best of their capabilities to accommodate the situation. So again, we just got to kind of wait and see. And something we haven't done in a bit is one of the top comments. Someone was asking, and a lot of people have actually been asking, as I've been putting out updates regarding the new free-to-play update details, is about community-made maps and how there hasn't really been a focus with Steam's future. So to address the first part, obviously community-made maps, that is a big undertaking. Obviously, workshop maps and something like that is the thing I enjoy most playing about the game. The difficulty is implementing something like that into the new version of the game in free-to-play is something that I think is initially a little bit difficult, but might be hopeful with it going over to the Epic Games Store platform or the Epic Games launcher. Whether that's going to happen or not, who knows, man? We got to kind of wait and see. On the other side of that as well, it is Unreal Engine 3. How viable it is for something like that to actually be implemented, I honestly have no idea. I think it's a lot of coding and a lot of stuff behind the scenes to program and put into the game to where you can not only play custom maps, but also have an editor to make those, as well as on top of that, hosting them so people can join in and download the maps that you create with a code. So I do think there's a lot of things that go into the whole community map as well as hosting future. And I do find that to be difficult. But on the other side of it, you're asking about Steam's future. They've already stated that Steam is not going anywhere. If you are a player who wants to play the game for free when it comes out, you do have to do it on the Epic Games launcher. But as a player who has it currently on Steam, you've got nothing to worry about. It's still going to be supported. That is still a thing that is going to happen. Whether that changes in the future or not, we don't know. But as of right now and what they've stated, Steam support will still continue. But I will say that if the ability to use the workshop maps does get removed because of Steam support, I do think that there is such a huge outcry and such a huge need for things like what Lethemir and others are doing. I don't think they can get rid of that support without huge backlash from the community. So because of that, I think we're safe. But if they do end up getting rid of it, hopefully it is because it'll be coming from a creative mode that we all desperately want. So I think for now, we're still good in the support on the Steam side, but ultimately I would like for the ability to have a creative mode where I can just drop in a ramp or do this or do that, that kind of like a building block kind of situation like I've compared to Halo Forge of the past. And then you can host it just like you do in a training pack, but this time it is a private host and then people can join in on you and you can play those custom games. That is the ideal route. That is the creative mode I hope for. I talk about a lot of these features in my How to Fix Rocket League video. Go check that out. So at least we know what's going on with the major and the current situation with the pandemic, but that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed the content, quick and easy today, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, as well as make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, and we will catch you next time. Peace.